long moment. Then he handed me a small envelope. No wrapping, no ceremony, just paper. I remember opening it slowly. Inside was not money, not a check, not a car key. It was something I didn't expect at all. A letter, handwritten, from both my parents. At first, I didn't understand. My brother leaned back, watching quietly. And then, I started reading. They wrote about things I had never heard before. About the sacrifices they made so both of us could study. About nights they stayed awake worrying about bills. About the years they worked jobs they hated, just so we could have choices they never had. And then came the part that made my hands freeze. They wrote that the car was never just a gift from my brother. It was a practical decision. He needed it for work immediately. But for me, they had something different planned. Something they had been preparing for years without telling anyone. A small fund, not large enough to impress anyone, but enough to change my direction in life. Enough to start something on my own. Enough to give me freedom instead of a possession. And at the end of the letter, there was a simple sentence that stayed with me. Cars can be replaced. Opportunities cannot. I didn't realize I was crying until I couldn't read anymore. My brother stayed silent. Even he didn't know, because what looked like inequality was actually timing. What looked like favoritism was actually strategy. Later that night, my brother came into my room. He didn't say much at first, just sat beside me. Then he told me something I didn't expect. I was jealous too, he said quietly, because I thought they trusted me more. We both laughed after that. A tired, emotional kind of laugh. The kind that comes after misunderstanding something important for too long. That night changed something between us. Not because one gift was bigger than the other, but because we finally understood what our parents had been trying to do all along. They weren't comparing us. They were preparing us differently. One with stability, one with possibility. And maybe that is what love sometimes looks like. Not equal in appearance, but equal in intention. Years later, I no longer think about that day as a moment of unfairness. I think of it as the day I learned something deeper, that not all gifts are meant to be seen. Some are meant to be felt, slowly, over time. And sometimes, the quietest gift can end up changing your entire life.